Alright guys, let's go ahead and get into it. The Redmi Note 10 Pro has finally came shipped from India, so it took a while. It actually didn't take as long, probably like 10 days, something like that. So it wasn't that bad. But you guys know I've been really hyped this phone because I'm a huge fan of the Note 8 Pro. That is one of my favorite phones, and like I've been saying, Xiaomi is making some of the best budget, mid-range phones, or whatever you want to call them. Yeah, so let's go ahead and unbox this, get my first impressions. I'll put the link down below. They're not selling them on like Amazon yet, so you have to get them on eBay for right now. So we got what looks to be just a gel skin case here. I paid $3.25 for this, guys. $25 for shipping. So when it gets to the States, you should be, you know, it's competing with like the Poco F3, so it should be around that $300 price range as well. All right, here's the phone. Just set that back. Oh, okay. So this is the this is a Glacier Blue, 6 gigs, 128 gigs of storage on here. And then we have our fast charger in the box. I think it's massive. Whoa, what is the? This thing is heavy. Hold on, let me. What is the speed on this? Does it say it on here? 33 watts. Okay. I don't know what. And then we have USB Type C as well. It's a pretty thick cable too, and it's got little red accents in it as well, which look really cool. That's not. Is that? Yeah, that might be orange. All right, so let's go ahead. That's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get this out. And man, this looks so nice, guys. I'm such a hype beast for this phone. All right, let's peel this sticker off. And this phone looks so nice. Hardware wise, they made some really good decisions because this is not you know, a glossy, you know, finish on here. This is actually sort of like a matte finish, but it also has this really soft texture as well. So they're saying this is a glass back on here, which doesn't feel like glass at all actually, and the rails are plastic. But yeah, this is such a nice finish. That's why, I guess that's why it kind of has this really smooth, sort of strange feeling, but this is a beautiful finish and color on here. Wow. This phone definitely is one of those phones where you would contemplate not putting a case on it. I mean, it's just really nice looking. Alright, so I like what they did with the camera module setup as well. I think it looks really unique and interesting. And then we have Premium Ultra right here, Redmi. So I'm really liking it so far. What is this? Our power button, volume rockers, and then we have down below, we do have stereo speakers are on here, I believe, USB Type C. And then our headphone jack is up top. I'm very happy that they kept that. Let's go ahead and boot this guy up, get some juice going. Now, Xiaomi has added a AMOLED display to this phone. It's a 120 Hz display, HDR10, 450 nits as well, 6.67 inches, 1080p, 395 for the PPI. Overall, it is a really nice, beautiful display. You've got the little punch hole, pretty respectable bezels on here as well. So overall for the display, I really liked it. The 120 Hz is not on by default. I had to turn it on, but you know, I'll be testing that out with battery life and see how that works on here. But yeah, display wise, it's fairly bright. I did not have any issues with like outdoor use or anything like that. And again, the 120 Hz is super smooth. Just scrolling and bouncing through applications and stuff like that, you do get a pretty smooth experience, which is something that I really like. So I think Samsung put 90 Hz on their mid-ranger. So Xiaomi is just really competitive this year, putting the 120 Hz in here to just give you that even smoother, silky experience here. So if you look at, you know, the software here, we do have MIUI 12 on here with Android 11. So it is definitely pretty smooth. MIUI still has like the personalized ads and stuff like that, but you can turn off. But overall, MIUI 12 has just a ton of customization. I think this might be one of the most like customized, you know, skins that you can get, because it's just a ton of stuff. It would take like an hour-long video to just run through everything, honestly. But the toggles on here, pretty basic toggles on here. We got our dark mode, screen recorder is on here as well. We have our floating windows. I'll go ahead and show you. we hit the floating window button, then our little window will pop up right there. We also have the scanner toggle on here. Let's see what else, if there's anything else hiding. Yeah, and then we have a Mi remote. I believe this does have an IR blaster as well, or not an IR blaster, yeah, infrared port. So that is on here too. So it's got, you know, pretty much all your little essential stuff that you would expect on here. All right, so this phone is the 64 gig, 6 gigs of RAM version with the Snapdragon 732G and the Adreno 618 processor on here. So gaming and stuff on here has been fine. I haven't really had any issues with performance on here. And again, I'm going to do that comparison with the Note 8 Pro because I feel like that's the phone a lot of Xiaomi users are holding on to. I think a lot of people skip, well, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but I know a lot of people skip the, you know, the 9 series and we're waiting on this 10 series. So I really want to discuss that. But gaming performance on here is excellent. Let's check out the graphics for Call of Duty Mobile. Call of Duty Mobile, we're on very high frame rates. We can go ahead and max those frame rates out. And the game runs smooth. I'm going to put a gaming test out, but so far, it's not a phone that feels like it's, you know, got a heating problem. Wow. Yeah, so gaming on here is fine, as you guys can see. All right, let's check out the stereo speakers max volume. This is my first time hearing a max volume, so let's check them out. So instead of the speaker, so the speaker is right here. Most of the time it'll be in a little grill right here, but this looks like to be like an actual dedicated speaker. Yeah, so the speakers sound pretty good on here. For it not having a grill right here, it still doesn't sound as good as like a flagship quality speaker with the bass presence and clearness. But it does sound much better than the 9 and the 8 though, because it's overall just louder and has a bigger thump to it. But yeah, so the speakers sound great. They're not distorting or anything like that. So pretty solid in that department. All right, let's go ahead and touch on the cameras on here. It is a quad camera setup, I believe, and let's just, you know, touch on it because I do want to make a separate video on the cameras themselves. But you have a 64 megapixel standard, and I believe there is a 108 megapixel version of this phone. Now, when I go to the, you know, to get the max settings on here, I'm only getting 64. So I'm not sure if there's 2 versions of this phone or what's going on here, but I'll give you guys that answer later when I do the full, you know, camera test here. But overall, 64 megapixel standard, 8 megapixel ultra wide, 5 megapixel macro, 2 megapixel depth, 4K video, 16 megapixel selfie camera on here. The UI of the camera is pretty standard. It's fine. I had no issues with it. You drop down, you get your super macro and your burst pro colors. So they have everything organized really well. And then you come over here if you want to get into more settings like your vlog and short video and stuff like that. There's one little feature that I was playing around with in here, and I'll go ahead and show you guys the like dual video mode on here. So if you're somebody that takes like you're filming something and you want like that sort of like that split screen sort of thing, then that was a really cool little thing. So I don't know if you're recording a fight and you want to film your face or something, I'm not sure, but that is on there. I thought that was really cool. But just to get into like the picture quality on this phone, it takes really good pictures, very sharp pictures on here, really good detail as well. That was the main thing that I noticed with this camera. It's just excellent detail. It's just a lot of detail on here, and that was just with the standard camera. I did not go to 64 megapixels. 64 megapixels, while it does give you a little bit more detail, it's not really anything that's shocking. The portrait mode on here is fine. Colors on the face are fine as well. You get some pretty nice and vibrant colors on here. The macro camera got really close up. The quality was okay. It's fine, but it was able to get really close up to get kind of like a cool shot. But the image quality on here is really good from, it's what you would expect, especially at this price point. These cameras are just definitely really awesome. Low light is okay. You do lose a little bit of detail, of course. The depth sensor is okay as well. It could be a little bit better, but overall, you're not getting a huge amount of color shift with the standard and ultra wide, but that standard camera gives you a crazy amount of detail. Like, it's actually pretty crazy. But photo wise, the Note 10 Pro is what you'd expect. It takes pretty good photos. I'll let you guys hear the audio and video. Here's the video on the Note 10 Pro. Alright, just to talk about the additional features on here, you do have the fingerprint scanner. It's physical and it's in the power button as well. So that works really fine. I had no issues with that. You guys can see that pop up. It works really fast. Honestly, I feel like this is the best place to put it because it just works effortlessly, because you're already going to put your finger right here. I think it's better than putting it on the back, but that's just me. It also has face unlock as well, so let's see if I can get it. Okay, that works really fast too, so you have that on here. And you do have NFC on here as well as the infrared port, so you can use it as like a remote or something like that. So it has pretty much everything that you would want, and you also have an IP53 dust and splash proof protection. So this can survive being in the rain. I would not submerge this in water or anything like that, but if you're in like a heavy rain, it will be able to survive. I'm sure it can survive like a quick splash, like if you drop it in the toilet. I'm sure it's not going to break or anything like that. So it's always nice to have some type of IP rating. Alright, so what's the battery situation looking like on this phone? So it's got a 5020 milliamp battery, 33 watt fast charging. The screen on time, from what I've seen, averages from around 8 to 9 hours of screen on time. And this is the 4G version, I believe. So there is a 5G version. So that is probably the version with the 108 megapixel sensor on it. But yeah, so battery life has been fine on here. I think if you're coming from a Note 8 Pro, that's a massive upgrade. So that's definitely very good upgrade when it comes to screen on time, and also just your just your charging speeds are just going to be way better on this phone as well. So how are you guys feeling about the Redmi Note 10 Pro? We'll be doing a lot more videos, comparisons on this phone. Be sure to let me know, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.